And welcome back to Holistic Pet Care with Dr. O. We are blessed today to have Dr. Cheryl Schwartz with us, and we're going to talk about cats, finally, right? And as Dr. Schwartz just pointed out, I'm much more of a dog person than a cat person, and I might actually just be the embodiment of a large breed dog, as to where it turns out Dr. Schwartz is a cat. This is going to work out great. I'm so happy for this in this next hour. Nothing on holistic pet care with Dr. O is intended to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any conditions. If you're having any problems with your animals whatsoever, get to a licensed veterinary practitioner now. I mean, turn off the computer and go to the vet if you're having any problems whatsoever, okay? And then tune back in, and we'll see if we can help you after you get taken care of, okay? No diagnosing, treating, preventing, or curing, just a bunch of really cool information from a bunch of people that care. So today, as I said, we are going to talk about cats, and this is a topic that we haven't touched on thoughtfully during the course of this show. Whether it's been in this form or on the radio. We were blessed to have Dr. Schwartz with us on the radio, blogtalkradio.com/Sylvia Global. You can look that up in the archived episodes, and you can go ahead and, you like us on Facebook, Holistic Pet Care with Dr. O, or you can Twitter us if you have something short to say, right? And then ask us questions, let us know topics that you would be interested in, and please share us with a friend. This information is super important. All we care about is animal advocacy, so we're going to be real positive today and relay a ton of information. So with that being said, and with me self-admittedly being a dog, not a cat, I defer to you, Dr. Schwartz, and thank you so much for fighting to be on the show with your computer.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow.
If that's going to be it, we're going to have to do some weird interpreting on that before we go on the air, I guess, huh? That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much for being here. This is, I know you have been in practice in veterinary medicine for 30-something years, is that
36
right?
years now. It's unbelievable.
That's awesome.
So Neanderthal times has nothing on me.
And then, when did you switch over to the bright side of holistic medicine versus traditional training?
35 and a half years ago.
Oh, yeah, so you made it out for a whole 6 months before you switched.
But for a long time, and truly today, it's more of an integrative approach.
Yes, it is.
So I was trained in Western medicine, and there's a definite place for Western medicine, and there's also a wonderful place for complementary therapy.
You couldn't be more right. In my practice here, it is absolutely integrated medicine. We work as a team approach, whether that's the folks selling the food, the massage, the groomer, the needles, which is me,
Right.
or herbals, whatever it is, to make sure that our non-human friends have the highest quality life and are pain-free every single day. So I appreciate you bringing that up for us.
Yeah.
So
let me just try to start by saying, since I have been a cat since I'm probably in my teens, I don't know how it came about, but I just feel much more at home with cats, so I consider myself a cat and a horse person. Dogs are after that. And whenever I used to say, oh, I'm not a dog person, and the dogs would say, oh, come on, we know you are, you're just not admitting it. However, in my house, I have a cat and I have a horse. But I don't really have dogs other than my friends' dogs coming over or dog patients. So I feel much more at home with cats. Why is that? I don't know. I feel that some people like that. Cats, to me, can be outside of themselves and very stable on the earth simultaneously. Whereas dogs, to me, usually need to feel their feet on the ground.
Yeah, 4 on the floor all the time. 4 on the floor. Yeah. that couldn't be more perfect, right? Because in my self-admitted dog-like tendencies, which you caught on to immediately, that whole ethereal piece, it's nice to think of and such, but when you go to feel secure, I want 4 on the floor. I really do, in every way censored. And maybe, is that a control freak thing or an insecurity thing? I don't know, but
well, I think that, or I feel that people choose their animals depending on their own needs and what makes them feel safe and what makes them feel happy.
Yeah.
And you know the old story of dogs call and they get you, and you call cats and they take a message and sometimes get back to you, and that's it.
What what is it? What is it? Um, People have dogs and cats have staff or something
Yes,
like that. And you have
right.
or the thing is that what are the 10 most irritating things that cat people have to say about dog people? And I think the best one by far is that when dog people think that when the kitty cat is wagging their tail, it means that they really, really like you. I couldn't stop laughing. I honestly almost spit up my lunch when I read that. I'm like, well, no, okay, it's true. Some people think that. That's all. Now, before we
But
quit,
aside from that, before we go on,
yeah,
to let you know that cats have tremendous feelings and tremendous affinity for their people. And I don't know if you've heard recently about the child who someone tried to abduct and to actually abuse in the street. And this kid had a cat who was in the house, and the cat jumped out of the house or off the fence and literally flew into the abductor or abuser
did
and saved the child.
did you are was it actually a human that did that? Because I can relay a story for you.
It was a big dog, a big dog
It was a
attacker.
big dog, and that was down here where I live. And if you get a chance to see that, whether it's on YouTube or on the news, it was a thing of beauty to watch this. And I guess this is all rumor mill, right? But
Yes,
the story goes that that this family did not have animals, and that this cat adopted the family, and
yes,
then this little boy was born or in the family, and then cat adopted little boy, and they were together quite a bit. And the images are extreme because there's a car in driveway, a little boy on the bike, and this dog comes from behind the car and goes and grabs the boy like he's a squeaky toy. And the boy was making squeaky noises like children do, and dog grabbed the child like a squeaky toy. Oh my gosh, Cheryl, you should have seen this. Was a thing of beauty. This cat came out of nowhere and grabbed,
yes,
and then I mean literally just did one of those all four in the air
right.
this dog, and dog runs, cat follows dog tail up down the street, and then comes back like, don't come back. And this the what this dog was doing with this child, had it not been stopped, it could have been quite bad.
Yes.
Us veterinarians see shaker wounds all the time. And so it was absolutely a thing of beauty, and I'm so glad that it made it out to the world, because talk about the relationship of the guardian cat with a
Yes,
single person.
yes.
Oh my
So
golly.
just because cats don't act like dogs, there's a loyalty in a relationship that occurs between a cat and a human or their people, whoever they decide.
Hmm.
And it's as strong as any other bond between any other individuals.
Do you think that the human insecurity piece plays a role, because humans want to be, they want to be touched, or they want our dogs to behave or to pay attention to them when they want to be paid attention to, or
I mean,
the
control issues.
control issues, and which is lock, stock, and barrel with insecurity issues, right?
Yeah.
Because I need to control this and control that and those types of things. And I can't believe I'm saying this on the air, because I'm really just talking about me. Um, Probably not a great idea, but I think all these things go hand in hand, as I'm sure you know. And then having the cat that just is there, and you just have to know that it's loving you, or just know that you guys are in a relationship without having to have constant reinforcement. Call me
Well,
crazy.
it's everybody makes up their own schedules. I have a cat. His name is Nick.
Nick.
And Nick is short for Nico because he was found by a client of mine on Columbus Day, and they had to go through the Italian section of San Francisco. So she wanted to call him an Italian name. So he became Nico, and when I met him, he was Nick, Mr. Nick.
Gonna shorten
So,
it a bit.
and Nick lives outside a lot of the time and will come in and visit or stay in when it's really bad. And he comes in for food, but he'll always come in and greet me and say good morning and jump on my lap and want to be petted, or they do the dance in front of you.
Yep. Yep.
And that's the attention. And I guess one has to be secure in oneself. It never even occurred to me because I just assumed, oh, that's the way everybody interrelates. And it would drive me wild to have a dog follow me. I'd hate it. I'd hate
That's
it.
my dog. She's my official greeter and ambassador. She's asleep right here right now. She doesn't necessarily follow me, but she's always there. She's always
Yeah.
present somewhere, and just kind of give her the freedom, just kind of the free to be you and me type thing. But I gotta be honest with you, when I whistle, I expect her to be there like post haste, and what that must be my military upbringing or just my
Yeah.
constitution woodiness of me or something like that. Who
Mhm.
knows?
No.
So I've
So
made. I feel like I've made like a full confessional to you today, Dr. Schwartz. So thank you very much. I'm feeling better
thank
about
you,
my
Dr.
insecurity.
O'Sullivan.
All right.
So let's just look at if you bring your animal into the veterinarian, how does the veterinarian approach a dog differently than approaching a cat? And when I go into a room and the cat is there, I usually let the person open the carrier because the cat always feels better if the person is there.
Okay.
And in my particular situation, I keep the carrier open with the doors closed, and I let the cat, if they want, come out and walk around the room and just get acquainted.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And with cats, I don't do anything really quick. If you do anything really fast coming at them with their energy, they're an amazing energy readers. I feel that cats and horses have a lot in common
Mm,
as far as large energy fields around them. So cats can notice a change in movement in the air around them
mm,
so quickly that you need to be really alert and aware of this.
mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so the first thing is I don't make a lot of sudden moves. And I always feel that in dealing with cats, you kind of sidle up to things. It's a little sneaky. You know, you kind of move in, you talk, it's your tone of voice. Sometimes I sing to cats. I like that. Most of the cats like songs. And it depends on the type of cat. So I also don't want to lump all cats together.
Right.
Cats
You
are very
can't.
individual, just like dogs are.
Yep. You can't
And
do it.
it's not only the breed, but it's their living situation. Are they in a family with children? Are they in a family with different adults? Is there a lot of company there? Do they have access to the outside? Are they
Yes.
indoor only? And so everybody's really unique, and you have to get an idea, a sense. And the other thing I look at is the person, because there's an amazing combination between the person and the cat.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. There. Yeah. Yes. So it couldn't be more true, could it?
And you look at that, and you look at the type of person, and you see the tone of voice that the person talks with the cat, and also the movements. And I also watch the colors that the people wear, because the colors will tell me, are they, what is their constitution?
Yes, 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 yes. Now, in doing such in a first appointment, as you're describing, you're spending quite a bit of time with the human and the cat long before you start any kind of treatment, the observational stuff, the constitutional stuff, the
Yes.
environmental stuff, those types of things, as I do, which I just love this. So how do things proceed with you for you?
So what I'll do is I'll take a detailed history. And during that time, I'll keep one eye on the cat. And is the cat coming out? Is it looking out? Are they curious? Are they afraid? Do they go under the chair? Do they
Right,
want to be on a soft surface? Do they want to be on a hard surface?
right.
So I get a lot of information by observing. When the observing and the question answering, when that part is over, I ask it depends again on the cat. Some cats are more happy on the floor, and I have rugs on my floor, little throw rugs.
Uh-huh.
And if the person likes to sit on the floor, then we'll all get down together. And
Right.
I'll have the person hold the cat or pet the cat, and then I will intervene and I'll start petting the cat.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
I find is, again, it's the approach. Some cats prefer energy approach where you just have your hands above them and not actually touching.
Uh-huh.
Some like touching. It depends on how trusting they are.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when you're talking about our, we seem to be in agreement about the fact that we are an integrated, holistic approach with our non-human friends. But you mentioned in the beginning here the difference between, or when you go to a traditional practice, the approach that they get as compared to a dog, or just as compared to being in a hurry, or sitting on the floor, or energy work, or cage open, doors shut, those types of things. So.
Well, I'll tell you what one of my clients says. When the cat comes in, he says, the cat doesn't want to come out of the carrier, and the first thing he says, oh, he's afraid that it's going to get the thermometer stuck up his butt.
Yep, yep, yep. Who, honestly, now this is speaking from someone who did this for a long, long time. Who wouldn't be? You walk into a room, that's the first thing you get. No hello, no nuss, no socialization at all. Just straight to business. That nobody likes that kind of stuff. So I understand that it makes my heart kind of sad and corrective when I think about the way I used to practice medicine long, long ago. Is just very rote, very every animal that comes in. And I was telling Dr. Schwartz here that my education at Purdue and those types of things, it was extremely thorough, but I didn't leave there with a good appreciation of biophysical differentiation between canine and feline, and that's fundamental to everything that we do, with our education, our approach, everything. And that I since then, obviously, or hopefully, I've developed a better appreciation for that, both scientifically and holistically. But let's talk about that, if you don't mind, a little bit. It's really groundwork type stuff.
So you mean the difference between them anatomically?
No,
Or,
let's say like nutritionally, you're just talking about approach, those types of things. And
okay.
the differences that you and I have to make as veterinarians with regard to, let's say, whether it's herbals or it's medication or it's anesthetics or it's recovery time, or I mean, dogs and cats are fundamentally quite different on every
I
scale.
find that cats are way more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that less is better,
Yes.
so that whenever I decide to prescribe something, I
Yes.
will use less than a per pound dosage. But
All right.
again, it depends on the cat. And the other thing is that I very often will use homeopathic remedies rather than herbal remedies or small amounts of herbal remedies because cats won't eat it. And to medicate a cat is way different than medicating a dog.
Mm.
Mostly the cats resent it beyond belief unless they really know it helps. And some cats will be very amenable, but most cats, oh, forget it.
Yeah.
You get one chance. And they taste it one time. If they taste it on their tongue, they're not going for that food again. They think you're poisoning them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and with the fundamental human-animal bond that is, we need to maintain that for every reason. But what you're saying with the medicating them, whether it smells wrong, tastes wrong, gosh forbid, the approach to the down the throat is wrong, or if you develop a food aversion by contaminating them or poisoning them with that medication or herb, or not really homeopathics, but we can't let cat not eat for more than a day or so because they're different and they're sensitive. My dogs, it's like, you don't eat for a day or two, I'm not going to be super worried about it, and I'm still going to medicate you. Cat, we got to be more, we might be more sensitive and intuitive, and and we can't let cat go more than 48 hours without eating. Then we end up having secondary or tertiary problems. So you
yes, exactly.
yeah, you just have to be so darn careful with them, yeah. And then education of owner. I find it so important, education of owner, that we have to make sure that the cat is happy, cat's not super mad at us, cat's not going to be hiding somewhere, and that this is increasing the quality of life for our cat, so it's so inclusive and so much information slash education for the
So
owner.
in your office, Dr. O'Sullivan,
Yeah.
do you have special chairs for cats? Do you have special furniture for cats?
Yeah, I've got special furniture for cats. Yeah, it's not cat furniture, but it's like the throw rugs that you have, and that when people come in, the humans sit down, and the cat carrier goes on the ground, and we just open the door, and I sit and have a very lengthy conversation with the owners and the owner's friend or whoever shows up, and I just watch out of one eye. What is cat doing? Is cat getting out and exploring? Is cat jumping on things? Is cat hiding in the back underneath their stuff? And then is owner constantly trying to put their hands on them or talk to them or this and the other thing, and their relationship together. But cat gets, in my office, they got free run of everything, which they
Yeah.
really appreciate, including hiding in some places sometime.
Well,
But go
I
ahead.
find that there are certain types of materials that cats really like.
Mhm.
They like towels.
Yes.
So very often I'll put a towel on the chair and then they'll jump up and do that. I have a chair that has a nice back. So if they can kind of get a backing with a cushion, then they can back into it, and they like feeling secure like that, so
All
that
right.
no one can come up behind them.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So,
And that kind of speaks to the whole predator prey type thing with the
yeah.
constitution. If and again, we kind of go into that. We talked about it before we went live about the whole nocturnal hunting carnivore cat versus my black lab. I have to cook for her every night, hang out on the floor, black lab. So it just there's just quintessentially so different. So
Well, my cat Nick is the greatest hunter on the block. And the problem is he sometimes brings in live prey to the house, which is not happy for me.
no,
And it's really hard when he brings in like a half-dead bird or a half-dead rat or even a very live rat, which I don't like, and gets away from him. But I get mad at him, and the way I'm handling it is basically if I can catch that prey, I take it from him and I say, you bring it in the house, it's mine.
no.
And then you leave it outside and you deal with it outside, it's yours. Once you bring it in the house, it's mine.
Yeah, you gotta have some rules, right? Now, do you,
Yeah.
do you think that he's not stockpiling? Do you think bringing you a gift, or look where I was
No, he
tonight,
loves
or
he loves playing and then eating it.
oh, okay, so he is a good hunter then, huh?
He's
Yeah.
a really good hunter and he eats what he catches,
Do you,
whether it's an insect or a rat.
okay, so he's a perfect hunter then, isn't he? Not making
Yes.
waste, not making waste. Now, do you find that some of your humans, even your clients, my apologies, your humans, that just completely freaks them out? The
Yes.
hunting piece.
Well, yes, and it freaks me out too. But I have to look at it and say, okay, this is what he does.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to see it.
Yeah, there's that. That's
And
fair.
I don't want it to get loose in my house.
Ah, yeah. Then you have to.
So I explained to him how rats and mice can create illness for humans.
Does he care?
No.
No, he doesn't
He,
care.
he forgets. He forgets. He's very sweet, but he forgets.
He doesn't.
Oh, I thought you wouldn't mind. He said you just need to play more.
He says,
So cats love to play.
yeah,
I know dogs love to play ball and fetch. Cats love to play, but if you notice what they like to do is they like to stalk what they're playing with. So
yes.
the string toys, the dancer we call it,
Mhm.
which is on the end of the wire with the little cardboards, and it looks like little animals walking around, or the feathers. So if you look at cat toys,
Uh-huh.
they're very prey oriented.
Yes, yes, and as well they should be. And I guess the only issue that we really well, not the only one, but one of the issues we have is if kitten didn't have mom to teach her to hunt in the first place, or kittens aren't able to be taught by their maternal influence to hunt, then sometimes we do end up with our couch potato cats that want us eat
Yeah,
out of the bowl all the time and those sorts of things. But they when it comes down to fundamentals, they're nocturnal hunter predatory
they are.
animals, versus some other animals. So I don't think that gets conveyed to people. At least when I was doing white coat medicine, it's not like we had that long discussion with people. We would kind of graze over it, but we were still giving them kibble diets. So I didn't have the whole picture together, did we? No, I
No.
didn't. No, no, no.
So let's talk a little bit about diets and
Yes,
let's
please,
compare notes.
please.
And when I wrote Four Paws, Five Directions, and I put in recipes for cats
Hmm.
and dogs,
Yep.
the cat recipes had mostly 50% meat protein source
Right.
and then 25% of a carb and 25% vegetables.
Yes.
After a number of years, and that works for a lot of cats, what I'm finding these days, and I wonder how much it has to do with the stress in the universe, I'm finding that the cats seem to require a higher meat diet and that the carbs need to be fewer or of more of like a sweet potato or fiber kind of carb rather than a grain. The
Yes.
grain that I find is easiest with the cats is oats.
Yes, 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 yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. Also, that's on the more fibrous side as well, and it has so much functionality in the oat, or even when you do the what are the certain kinds of oats?
Steel cut,
Steel
yeah.
cuts. Yes, you know that they're still so close to the earth
Yeah.
versus having something that's processed like a Quaker oat, which nothing wrong with Quaker oats, but when you have our steel cut oat, it's closer to the earth and it has a lot more of its fibrous content and digestive content, benefits. And like you're saying, the higher protein, and then when we do get onto our carb, sometimes the functional fiber versus just grain for
Yeah.
whatever reason, that sticky sugar. And I'm concerned with grains and carbs, I'm sorry, because of the conversion to sugars and
Yes.
all the havoc that wreaks in all of us,
Right.
not just our cats and dogs, but
Yes, and all of us.
all of us.
All
So
of us.
and then your veg, kind of, I have issues with, not issues, but people don't understand why my cat's eating vegetables or eating grass and those types of things. Like, well, if a cat goes and kills something, cat's going to go and eat stomach content, and most of the stuff that cat's prey eats are vegetarians. So they're going to have some sort of a fibrous, some sort of seed, some sort of something that's not pure protein in their kill. So even if you want to go back to fundamental versus you're feeding your cat, there is that fibrous, there is that veg
Yes, it's the
content to
fiber.
it. Yes, exactly. So,
It's also that it's the trace minerals in it.
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So the trace minerals that they need for processing the food and on a cellular level.
Yep, yep. And then I honestly believe that the closer you get to the earth, whether it's that grass growing out in the backyard or the
Mhm.
soil you're putting your what's that stuff we give cats to make them loopy?
Catnip.
Catnip, thank you. But all the veg, if it's closer to the earth, then they actually is absorbing and making use of the mineral in the earth. And I've got a couple cats that are stone lickers in my practice. They go outside and they lick the stones and such. I said they're trying to get some sort of mineral content they're not getting. Just trust them. Just trust them. They know better than we do. So they're.
And from a Chinese medicine point of view, when they do that, it tells me that their diet is too hot for them
Yes, it is too hot.
because they like to, the minerals are cooling. So if you feel really hot, you want to cool it down.
Yeah. Can
It's
we
the
talk? Can we
same way
talk?
as we eat after dinner mints
Yeah.
to help with digestion. So the cats like the after dinner mint grass.
I'm not actually sure I ever thought about why I ate after dinner mints would be medicinal at all. Can you, I know this is like a year-long seminar and I understand that, but can you give a quick and dirty about what you just said about their diet is too hot? Some people we don't understand the thermogenics of food and those types of
Yeah.
things, so the heat, the neutral, the cooling, and I understand, like I said, this is a humongous subject. It's huge. We're gonna have to do this for like 8 hours, but if
Oh
you
no, 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 no. Let me just right now show you my wonderful food DVD
Oh
that
yeah.
talks about what food is best for your animal friends, and it's a 2.5 hour workshop that I did on food therapy
Pick it up
that
so we can see it.
talks. Oh, can you
There
see
it
it?
is. Yeah, beautiful. Good stuff. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. What
And
food
it's
is
from
best
a
for my pet?
Chinese medicine point of view.
Good,
So
good.
it's what food is best for my animal friends, and it's a live workshop that I did where I talked about the food energetics. Basically, whenever we eat anything,
Uh-huh.
it will create a response in our body depending upon where the food was grown,
Yes.
what the environment was, what the soil is like, what the temperature is when it grows best, which things grow in the winter, which things grow in the summer, which things come up in the spring,
Right.
what color it is.
Yep.
And the colors will also give you a hint about which organ systems, or is it a real warming or is it cooling.
Right.
So the yellow vegetables, for example, yellow sweet potatoes, yellow squash, this is really good for the stomach.
Yep.
It's good for the pancreas and for the stomach because it helps. It usually has a natural sweetness to it, and it helps to balance out the acid in the stomach.
Very nice. Very nice. So how do we get a hold of this book? Is it an Amazon thing or is it
Oh, it's
a
not a book.
website
It's
thing?
actually a 2 DVD set, and you can get it through my website,
Which is?
theheallearninstitute.com.
Say it again.
The Heal Learn Institute, where animals heal and humans learn.
Heal Learn Institute. Okay, excellent. Now, a little bit more, I guess, in-depth question. Are you doing seasonal fluctuations in food?
Yes, I am.
Good, 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 good.
And I do that because in the winter you need to help the kidney.
Hmm.
In the spring you need to help the liver.
Yes,
In the
yes,
summer you need to balance out the heart and the fire organs. And in the fall you need to balance the lungs, especially for the inhalant allergies. And in the Indian summer, the earth, the stomach and the pancreas, spleen pancreas.
yes. I
So
love
I
that.
do that, and it depends on the animal. You know if the food is too hot, if the diet is, quote, too hot. Too hot means that it's creating so much heat inside it creates an inflammation.
Yes,
So you can have stomach burning, you can have ulceration, you can have heartburn,
yes,
you
yes, yes.
can have bad breath that smells very sour, it smells metallic because it's so hot.
Yeah.
You
I,
can have diarrhea that's really smelly. You can
I
have
always,
mucus in the diarrhea.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. I always use the very Western approach with that for people that inflammation, anything that's got an itis, itis at the end,
Yes,
inflammation, redness, heat, swelling, loss of function, pain. Redness, heat, swelling, loss of function, pain. The five pillars of an itis, of inflammation. So if I'm in that boat, why would I want to add heat to a red, hot, swollen, painful, loss of function situation? So that kind of gives a visual or the way people
good.
learn differently, so
Oh,
sometimes that's very
good.
helpful. So I do the itis thing. I said on your Western diagnostics, on anything you ever hear with an itis on the end, think redness, heat, swelling, loss of function, pain. And I got to be honest, with all the classes and stuff I teach, if you're in more than one of them, I said I write it on the board. The people that have been there before, they chant it out. I'm like, good,
Yes,
good.
red and heat.
I said, so don't add anything hot necessarily on a hot day to an animal that's got a hot process already, and it helps. It's always these little tricks, I guess. So
But it's also how it's prepared. So
yes.
it's not just that when you make tea is different than water because tea is hot. But depending on which tea, you can have something that's cooling or something that's more warming.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah.
So if you make chamomile tea, that's a cooling tea. But if you're making pepper tea or cinnamon tea,
Cinnamon tea, yeah. Or a
that
ginger, yeah.
yeah, then it's really warming. So it's not just the temperature, it's the temperature that it creates when it's ingested.
Yeah, I love this conversation. We got so far off track, it's not even funny with the cat thing, but this is such great information. I love your book. What food is best for my animal friends? It's so important because, air you breathe, food you eat. These are cornerstones, right? So, in a really
Yes.
good TCM relationship, TCM diagnosis, and then go forward from there. So, the food we eat is just, oh gosh, so fundamental. So, I really appreciate that, and I love this book. So, Learn Heal Institute, go and get the what food is best for my animal friends, and then tell everyone and start asking questions of everything and start reading labels and start going organic and
Yes.
all the rest of these conversations that we could get into.
Yes.
So, of all this wonderful goodness with regard to diet, how do you integrate all of this information into the life of a cat that's going to tell you where to go if they don't like the way it smells, the way it feels? I've never had this kind of texture before. Or gosh, hopefully if I'm a kibble cat, oh no, what are we going to do with them?
Well, kibble cats are really interesting because the cats love kibble.
They
Why
do.
did they
They do.
love kibble? They like it because it feels like prey in their mouths.
That's right. That's right.
So you look at the teeth, the way the teeth are in cats, and they're developed for shredding.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
developed for holding, shredding.
Tug and pull. Tug and pull. Yeah. 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 So
And
yeah.
right, and the thing is that the crunch is like crunching in bone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a texture. So most cats will don't like just soft food.
No, no, they don't. And the thing is, we're not also doing them any favors with just soft food, are we? Because we end up getting it packed in back here, and that we don't wash it out. We end up with dental problems. I mean, and dental problems can be for a whole litany of reasons.
Yes.
But when we get stuff packed up in here because it's soft. Or, you know, if you ever watched a cat eat, they're certainly not completely masticating their kibble or their soft food. It's getting jammed up in places. And then if you ever ask a cat nicely, I would like to brush your teeth, or
Oh, are you kidding?
use my water pick on you today. Really? Are you kidding me? So the
You want your arms?
yeah, yeah, you know, and then of course cat bites you and you're on your way someplace else. But so how is it that you recommend folks imitate the natural grab and pull, use the teeth, use the
Okay,
dentition?
there's a few things. Some of my clients actually do the raw diets.
Yeah, yeah,
And the raw diets are really good if your animal can tolerate it. And
right.
some cats really like it and some cats don't.
Some of them
And
can't. They can't do it. They can't do it. Yeah.
well, some of my clients actually give their cats a raw chicken leg
Uh-huh.
or a chicken neck. And the cat literally takes it and starts gnawing on it, takes
Okay.
it to the corner like a, similar to a dog. Most cats, however, don't take kindly to that. They will take kindly to the frozen mice that you feed to snakes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some of my clients do that. But there are freeze-dried raw that you can just add some water and it has some bone in it, so it has a texture. There's
Oh,
also the frozen raw that comes in medallions
yep, yep.
that you thaw, Stella and Chewy's and Primo and Grandma's. There are so many wonderful different ones. So if I didn't mention the name of your favorite brand, please throw that in.
We're okay. What are your thoughts about sardines? Full body
I
sardines.
really like sardines.
I love them. They're a full body creature. They're
Yes,
in
I like
water.
sardines. And sardines, I like them both in water and in olive oil, both.
Yeah.
And I like them because they have the little bones.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Sardines in Chinese food therapy
Yes.
are actually balancers.
Yep.
They're yin and yang together.
Yep.
They're a little bit sweet. They help the spleen. They help the stomach. They also help the kidney.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I really like them. I like the sardines. I like salmon, and I like salmon in the springtime, and also salmon sometimes in the fall.
For
And
the
I feel,
for liver? For the springtime for liver, or just an overall balancer?
yes,
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 yes, and yes, yes, and yes. Okay, good. Now, so we got some food stuff going on. Now, you have a cat that comes in from a strictly Western environment, Western treatment modalities, comes to you, and then you start to move them over onto a more cat diet, let's say. I mean, you know, so
yeah,
a non-kibble diet. Now, do you do things like probiotics? How do you get the gut
yes.
ready to go?
I like probiotics, and believe it or not, my cat Nick, who's super finicky,
Yeah,
will eat probiotics.
yeah, yeah.
And I use the Gyrodophilus,
Uh-huh.
the human Gyrodophilus. I open a capsule and pour it, and he likes it.
Yeah.
There are a number of veterinary products that are really good, and now there's some really nice fermented products.
Mm.
There's a company that's come out with fermented fish broth and fermented goat milk.
Oh, fish.
And both of those are really good for probiotics.
Very nice. Now, when we have our nutrition and we have some environmental things and we respect the fact that they're hunters, and I know that that's hard for the human component, and that there are some safety questions, and I respect that, but I also like them to be cats. What is your approach when you feel that they need to be needled? They need some acupuncture. They need some manipulation. We're nice and slow, or do we integrate that very nicely? Or do we teach our owners acupressure for home, or what do we do?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above. So what I usually do is I'll be down on the floor with the cat, or I'll put the cat on the table, and I always choose a color towel. And I'll choose a color towel that is for the specific problem that the cat has, or something to support the cat's constitution.
Yep.
Now, cats are colorblind, but the vibration of the color gives a certain resonance.
Do you,
And with that resonance, the cat will respond.
do you use any kind of crystals with your color work, or are you that?
Sometimes I use crystals, some other people do. I do a lot of medical qigong, so I use the
Oh,
palm of my hand a lot.
Uh-huh.
and I will smooth that. Sometimes I'll use Rescue Remedy cream on the top of their head or
Mm.
on their ears,
Mm-hmm.
on their ear flaps, and that's really good. I have a cat patient who jumps on the chair. You cannot handle her, but she jumps on the chair, and I literally dart the needles in. I use really small needles on the cats,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and then the cat jumps from the chair into her carrier, and she sits in the carrier for 15 minutes with her needles.
Did you learn that with darting your needles into an orange? Is that how you learned to do it? Like,
um,
it's not
yes,
easy for.
actually, I learned by needling myself.
Oh, that's even harder, isn't it? So for those that are watching and listening later on, when we're talking about darting the needles, literally it means that you have no physical contact with your patient. You learn how to flick these needles into a surface that has some tension, and then I had to learn to do it with oranges. So there's a lot of frustration and then when you actually learn to do one, you feel like a ninja. I mean, you honestly
Yeah.
do. And then when you go to start needling yourself for whatever it is, like for me it was a brown recluse bite. I didn't want to do anything with it, so I needled myself in my ankle, right? And I was my worst patient ever. I got to be honest with you, by far the worst patient ever. So I love that when you're throwing needle, like literally flicking needles at a cat that you can't touch. That is just the hallmark of just awesome skills. Awesome skills. I love
But
that.
it's again, it's what the cat would expect.
Yes.
So I'm being another predator. You
Yeah.
know, a
Yeah.
predator to the predator.
I love that. I love that. That's
And
funny.
but what most of my cats I'll pet, and I'll pet a little bit, and then I'll be able to find the points and put the needle in.
Hmm. Yeah.
And my clients are petting the cat. I don't use any veterinary assistants.
Neither
It's
do
the
I.
human caretaker and me, or just me and
Yep.
the cat and I. But sometimes if the cat is not amenable to needles, just like some humans are not amenable to needles,
Uh-huh.
okay, we just use Qigong or we use energy. And I show my clients how to do an acupressure massage.
Yep.
So I use pictures from my book where you could actually see the meridians, the energy lines, and you can actually see where the energy lines are. And I teach my clients how to acupressure their cats at home.
All right. So that being said, for some, I guess it's not self-aggrandizing because this is all about you, but I use Dr. Schwartz's book every day, and my wonderful dogs have made short work of it in quite a few ways. But this, let's see here,
Oh my
this.
God, it looks really old.
Do you love it? Do you love it? Can you
I
see?
do.
And wait, I think there's. Oh, there we go. The little rips and stuff in here. You
Yeah.
got so so here are energy lines and such. And I honestly think that this has been by far the best handbook I've had in veterinary medicine in total. It's fantastic, and it shouldn't be used as a thing that you read overnight or like a novel. This thing is so chock-a-block full of information. If you tried to read it from front to back, I can't imagine the headache you would get because it's just so much darn information. So, yeah, could you like all the stubbies and
I really like it. It looks well used. Thank you, Dr. O.
I'm sorry, four paws, five directions, and it's I can't say more about it. It's just fantastic, and this is coming from a novice. I mean, a novice in what I do compared to Dr. Schwartz, and I have got the utmost respect for you and everything you do, and just the joy that you exude and how much fun we have together. And this is our first time going face to
This is
face, and
fun.
it's just fantastic.
Hi, we're live. Hi, hi.
Now, can you tell the world how to get a hold of you and your wonderful products? And
Yes, they can just actually, they can look up instead of the Heal Learn Institute, if they forget that, just drcherylschwartz.com.
okay,
And on my website, I have all of the different products that help with the acupressure, acupuncture, the food therapy, the acupressure cards. I do want to hold those up though, because, and here we're talking about cats, and I want to tell you a story because here's acupressure for emergencies on your way to the veterinarian.
right.
And as you can see, I have dog pictures.
No cats.
So my cat clients say, well, Lenny, we'll wait for the cat deck. And I say, well, you're going to have to wait for a while because the cat model who I used in my book and on my poster that has all of the meridians in it
Yes.
was so, in order to be muscular, you have to be a very good hunter, and that cat hunted me. So
Uh-oh.
I had many scratches on my arms, and the photographer was
Oh,
also one of those. Only some cats are really good at modeling.
oh,
Other cats, not so. So, if from your audience there is a person who has a cat who would like to have very svelte look on cards for acupressure for emergencies, have them contact me.
yeah, oh my gosh, that's so funny. So you healed up okay though from your adventure, I'm guessing, huh?
Absolutely.
So,
But the deal is that cats, being different than dogs,
uh-huh.
they don't necessarily want to stand still for being models unless they are Leo cats. You know, if they were born in the sign of Leo, then they want to be actors and they want to be center stage, and they might allow you to touch them on camera.
So
But
you need a very muscular
I
hunting
need a muscular,
Leo.
yeah.
We'll put that order out for you on Facebook. So
Oh,
what
thank you.
we'll make sure that all of your information, your contact information, definitely your four pause five directions and everything else you've told us about with your books and your cards and such, will be on Facebook, which is Holistic Pet Care with Dr. O at Facebook, and then Twitter is Dr. O DVM, and then with your permission, we'll have their links to your sites and such, so people can just hook up with you going through
Oh,
that.
that would be great.
Yeah,
That would be great.
even if they
So
didn't have.
now I have a question for you before
Yeah.
we end whatever it is we're doing.
Yeah.
What is your most pressing cat question that you want to ask me?
God. Geriatric diarrhea. Geriatric diarrhea by far. Because you just watch them waste away, and
Yeah.
they've been on so many Western meds, and they're on. Or how about this one? This is even better. I have idiopathic induced diabetes for cats that have um, autoimmune eye issues for damn near a decade, and then they're just starting to waste. And so having an autoimmune cat and
Mhm.
trying to approach them in the way that I would approach a cat that's not autoimmune is very difficult for me because I want to bolster their immune system. And I can't do that in an autoimmune cat. I want to help them in any way possible, and I can't just take them off. I can't even work on taking them off their Western meds
Mhm.
quickly, which is what I want to, so every part of my body wants to bolster their immune system and make them healthier and change their diet and do all these wonderful things we've been talking about, and I feel like I am dragging a train trying to help these guys. So I guess my most pressing cat question is, how do you approach our chronic autoimmune steroid bearing cats? Sorry, but that's the question.
You have to realize that it's a very, very deep, basic imbalance between yin and yang at this point, and that it has gone through almost all of the organ systems by
Yes.
the time it becomes autoimmune. But the bottom autoimmune is kidney.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I always use acupressure with them for the kidney. And what I'll do is I'll just acupressure, I'll have the people acupressure bladder 23,
Yep, yep.
and I'll use the back shu points or kidney 6 with lung 7 as the Ren Mai. The actual, this is one of the extra meridians,
Yep,
and it's the underlying yin of the kidney, but it's the yin of the whole body, or the blood with pericardium 6 and spleen 4.
yeah. And then with that, that's so great. I thank you so much for that. I appreciate so much. The we just have to with our cats that I can't necessarily get some of these points like pericardium 6. Um, we just
Oh no, you just have the person at home, the
exactly.
human at home, just massage around the carpal wrist pad.
Yes, yeah. So
Just
for
all
those
around the carpal wrist pad.
so those folks that are watching, our pericardium 6 is in a bony area of cat that might not want to accept some needles. So showing owner how to do things at home. I just, being the most big dog personality, want to do everything right now to help these guys. So As
Oh
Dr.
no.
Schwartz had said, just so slow and so patient, and just looking for improvement of their quality of life. So, gosh, I really, really appreciate that from you, because those are the tough ones. And even for me, autoimmune animals in general, especially cats, they're just so tricky, and that quintessential separation and disharmony between the yin and the yang, and then feeling sometimes in these guys where they're actually pulling a little bit apart. We're in
Yes,
trouble. We're in
they are.
trouble. We're in trouble with these guys, and so
Yes. But one of the things that you can use that they don't mind, again, is the probiotics.
definitely. First thing, always first thing.
And they usually like it. And sardines are usually good.
Yeah. And then they normally love it for a short period of time, and then they tell their owner, yeah, no,
Oh
I'm
no,
not
it's
feeling
about
it today.
Thank you for reminding me. It's about rotation, Dr. O.
Yes.
You cannot, cats don't want the same thing. Even if they love it, they'll get tired of it. So you have to come up and be innovative.
That's that yes, and try to overcome your generalized frustration and the frustration of the owner, and the ones that have gone out and bought every single GMO free meat based kibby and canned diet, and then coming up to me, and I said, they really don't need canned diet all the time, or that they don't, or go out, like you said earlier, which makes me laugh, go out and buy a frozen rat, or a frozen mouse, because I tell people, I said, if I had my druthers, my cats would be eating a bird or a rat twice a week. And that'd be it. Lots of water, lots of exercise, a bird. And they just look at me like I'm from someplace else. And I'm like, no, really, that would be nice. So I don't want you going out and killing rats and killing birds. I said, but it would be good for them. It'd be good for them with probiotics. So, I think that woo-woo kind of quackery thing,
Yes,
that's when I start to roll right into that. But I'm like, no, really, that would be really good for them. On top of buying sardines and on top of getting some
yes,
salmon. So thank you for kind of joining me in my quackery with that, because
yes,
it's the right thing to do. It is the right
yes.
thing to do for these guys. So, um,
And the other thing that I started to use is the medicinal mushrooms.
do you love them? Do you love
Yes, I
them?
do.
Gosh.
And I find that the mushrooms they're balancing.
Mm.
So even with autoimmune, the body will use what it needs.
Yes, I love the mushrooms. I have to be honest with you, and if, not I need to do better at using it as more of a frontline defense, a frontline treatment. But I honestly, as soon as I look through my book and I'm like, oh, that's right, I can do this, or I can do that, or I can combine it with this, or I can stack it on that, and it's very exciting because of the
Yeah,
safety and the harmonizing and the
yeah,
support. Oh, yeah, and this doesn't mean we need to everyone go out and buying mushrooms, but we just need to know that there's a whole toolbox of things that we have
yes,
that are not mainstream, that are so darn safe. But as Dr. Schwartz pointed out, every plan has got to be individuated. It is for an individual patient with individual needs.
yes.
This isn't a broad stroke thing at
Right,
all. No.
right.
Um, so with that, and I've got like 5 to 8 more hours of questions to ask you. So
Yeah.
with that, with that, and then I'm going to make sure that you're up on all of our social media,
Oh,
and
great.
you and I, hopefully, now that we're back face to face, can do this again. Maybe we can talk about some horses. We can talk
That would be
about,
great.
yeah, and that these are things that are outside the scope of my expertise, far outside the scope of my expertise. And we could talk about some moxa and how it smells like pots. We have to be careful when we use it, and then not to burn our friends. There's fun stuff in traditional
Yes,
Chinese medicine. There really is. So,
yes.
thank you for your time, my dear. I really, really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
thank you, thank you. This is very fun. It's my first Google Hangout.
Oh my gosh. Well, it will not be your last, because we got stuff to talk about. So
Oh,
have a
good.
wonderful afternoon, and then
You
let's
too.
look up for next show, and give your cat a kiss for me, yeah?
I will do that
If he allows it, that is.
if he allows it. And let me just say, row, row, row.
And right back to you if that was positive. I don't understand your language. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
And once again, thank you for watching and listening to Holistic Pet Care with Dr. O. And we hope to keep bringing you awesome information about holistic care. And go ahead and listen to us at blogtalkradio.com/Sylvia Global. Tell a friend, get a hold of us on Facebook and Twitter and whatever other social media we might be on, because this stuff's important. Goodbye, Dr. Schwartz. Thank you so much.
Bye.